Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is a pleasure and an honor to welcome you to our 60th anniversary Global Alumni Reunion weekend to our Madrid campus. This weekend, we are celebrating not just 6 decades of academic excellence and global connections, but also the incredible community that each of you has helped to build and sustain over the years. 60 years ago, during a period of significant transformation as the world recovered from World War II and entered into the Cold War era, Dr. Leibrecht, a German citizen who has studied in the US and has indeed started successful professional career as a professor in prestigious universities such as Harvard and Columbia, founded what at that moment was a college in Germany, very close to where our current Heidelberg campus is located. The purpose was to provide American students with the opportunity to learn immersed in the European culture, and therefore develop a better understanding, a multicultural understanding of the world. That is the origin of the university that we know today. The 60s and the 70s were decades of profound geopolitical changes that were characterized by superpower rivalry, decolonization, regional conflicts, and the emergence of new political and economic players on the global stage. Sounds familiar, right? It looks like we are talking about nowadays. At the same time, in the business arena, the technological developments and the expansion of multinational companies and international trade set the stage of the globalized economy we live in today. It was in this context that Schiller International University became the first American multi-campus university established in Europe. The mission to prepare students, personally and professionally, for future leadership roles in an international setting through a truly international learning experience. Dr. Leibrecht was indeed a pioneer at that time. He quickly understood that the need to prepare students for international roles in a globalized economy. He was the precursor of the multi-campus study abroad concept, and his influence in the field of international studies is undeniable. And I just confirmed that 2 weeks ago at the annual NAFSA conference in New Orleans. Since then, Schiller International University has remained loyal to its mission, to its values, and groundbreaking spirit. We have continued to innovate in learning methodologies, introducing immersive education, dual degrees, challenge-based learning methodologies. And we keep adapting our academic model to ensure that our students not only acquire the knowledge, but also develop the global skills and professional skills that they need to become global citizens and international professionals, critical thinkers, culturally agile, curious and innovative, analytical and data-driven, committed leaders. We are committed to continuing to be pioneers in global education. Not in vain, we are named after the 18th century German philosopher, poet, and dramatist Friedrich von Schiller, whose work exemplifies the highest standards of ethics and the ideal of the truly educated multilingual citizen of the world. Today, with more than 20,000 alumni from more than 130 nationalities, as I stand here before you, I am filled with pride and gratitude. Pride for the milestones that we have achieved together as a university. Pride for our alumni achievements, and not only in their successful international careers, but also in their commitment to Schiller's values in all their endeavors. Your journeys and successes are the true testament to the enduring spirit and impact of Schiller International University. And I'm filled with gratitude. Gratitude for the support, dedication, and passion of our faculty and staff, and for the engagement and generosity of our alumni who have become our best ambassadors, mentors to the new generation of students, and active employers of our graduates. This weekend is for you, our dear alumni. It is time to celebrate. It is time to reconnect, but it's also time to reflect about what Schiller has meant to all of us and how we have contributed to its history and its impact. That is why we have curated a series of engaging and thought-provoking sessions that highlight the diverse and dynamic achievements of our alumni and faculty, from panel discussions on global challenges to alumni testimonials and open mic sessions. We aim to celebrate our history and envision the future together. I would like to extend a special welcome and thanks to Dr. Rana, CEO of GEDU Group, to whom we proudly belong since November 2023, and with whom Schiller International University will be able to provide a global education to a much larger number of international students, and multiplying the impact of a truly committed multicultural and multinational network. Thank you also to all the leadership team from GEDU, including our Deputy CEO, Professor Lloyd, and the members of our Board of Directors. Ankur, thank you very much for coming, Petros, and our special guests and speakers in this morning's session. Mr. Alex Mejia, Director of the Division for People and Social Inclusion at Unitar, who will join me shortly to announce a very special agreement. Thank you, Alex, for coming. Mr. Stanley Johnson, who will be talking to us today about his latest adventure following the footsteps of Marco Polo. Our faculty, Miriam Benrad from Paris campus, Dr. Geoffrey Bright from Heidelberg, and Gur Saraf from Madrid, who will discuss the importance of developing a global mindset to address the complex issues that we are facing today. Also, a special thanks to Professor Michael Switz, who has contributed to this 60th anniversary by writing a great paper on Schiller that you will be able to enjoy with a special gift a little bit later today. Thank you also to Johan Harry and Mariano Sigmund, two of today's most interesting voices in education, neuroscience, and attention, who will explore the fascinating intersection of learning, artificial intelligence, and attention in the modern world. Of course, our alumni, Otto Sonnenhosner, entrepreneur, former vice president of Ecuador, Tácito Curre, a well-versed entrepreneur and lifelong learner, John von Bloch, international consultant and academic, and Constance Bellinga, an experienced marketing and content consultant. They will share today, this morning, their unique experiences and insights on navigating political challenges, fostering international relations, and preparing for global success. Thank you. This afternoon, after lunch, we will pay a tribute to Dr. Liebrecht, our founder, with a conversation between his son, Harald, and our alumnus and faculty, Sonia Holly. Where's Sonia? Where's Sonia? Thank you, Sonia. We will also celebrate the literary contributions of Friedrich Schiller with a special performance by Paul Isbell, a dear professor of us, and a violin accompaniment. I know you're also looking forward to the evening's festivities at Bodega Bal Azul, including wine tasting and the Schiller Global Awards. Let us take this time to reconnect with all friends, all colleagues, make new ones, and renew our commitment to the values that have shaped our university. thank you very much for being here, for your continued support, and for embodying the spirit of Schiller International University. We will make this a memorable reunion. And now, we commence the best way possible, announcing the agreement with the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, Unitar, to collaborate on two of our flagship programs, our Masters in International Relations and Diplomacy and our Masters in Sustainability Management. This partner will allow our students to combine Schiller academic model and learning methodologies with the expertise of the most important organization worldwide for international studies. It will provide our students also with the opportunity to do internships in United Nations organizations and graduate for its headquarters in Geneva. I would like to invite Mr. Alex Mejia, Director of the Division for People and Social Inclusion at Unitar, and Professor Lloyd, Deputy CEO of GEDU Group, to join me for the official signature of this agreement.
Thank you. My honor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So now I would like to invite Mr. Alex Mejia to say a few words about the significance of this important agreement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, dear friends, colleagues, Dr. Rana. Thank you very much for making this a special occasion. I would like to use a methodology, if I may say. I come from the United Nations agency that teaches, hopefully teaches how to improve your performance, how to actually go about making this world better. So as we are very much into methodologies, I learned early in my career that it's good to try and begin with the big picture and end indeed in the smaller, or the other way around. So why are we here today? I believe that life is about these pivotal moments that actually contribute to yourself and to society. That's life. And if life is not lived like that, congratulations to you, but you're missing a lot. You're missing a lot because there is so much to do. And if I use this big thought of mine, something that guides me, with another thought that I learned from who was my first boss at the United Nations, former Secretary General Kofi Annan of Ghana. Kofi Annan, some of you will remember him. He's in a better place now. Kofi Annan kept repeating and repeating this phrase that became a mantra for us, the younger generation at the UN. No capacity, no development. No capacity, no development possible. So how do you build capacity? Unitar, the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, has taken this mandate from the General Assembly of the United Nations since 1963. So it's been a while. In that sense, we celebrate a similar timeline. But in trying to build capacity, we have discovered throughout the decades, as I'm sure you too at Schiller International University, that this is no easy task. I tell my team in Geneva and some other places, you build capacity one at a time. There is no such a thing as we train today 1,000 people or 10,000. Last year, Unitar, I'm very proud to tell you, trained 521,000 beneficiaries. Around 60% from governments, but the rest from other places. But the big picture, capacity building, goes hand in hand with education. I have engaged for more than a decade on what's the difference between education and training. And there are differences, of course. What is the difference is even more complex into professional training. And it has to be the confluence of both. The rigor of academic processes, as Marta will exemplify here. You have a great institution here. I greatly believe in Schiller. And the practicalities of making it for the day-to-day. So you go around and you actually change things. You make them better. But that big picture also needs to be complemented with something that is very deep in my heart. The United Nations was created to bring those aspirations of humanity to life, to realization. You remember there is a gap between vision and reality. There is always a gap. It has to be. And it takes a few people to actually transform a vision into reality. At the UN, we remain frustrated in trying to transform humanity's aspirations into a reality. Sometimes we achieve it, sometimes we fail. Parenthesis, think of conflict today. Go 1 decade before. I'm a witness in Geneva, where I work, to something called the Syria peace process. 7 sessions, 7 peace talks, 7 rounds of talks that produce almost nothing. So you will think that some people will say, enough is enough. We have tried enough. Perhaps not for us at the UN. We keep on trying. We are trying this week with the Ukraine war. We keep trying with the conflict between Hamas and the State of Israel, and so on and so forth. So at the United Nations, we believe that the mandate that we have to make our world better is as current today as it was in October the 24th, 1945. And in believing that this mandate of ours has to be a reality, education and training lies at the center. No capacity, no development, remember? So I had the privilege of meeting someone by the name of Rana a few years back. Someone that has today become a friend. Dr. Rana is someone that we greatly respect at the United Nations and at Unitar particularly. And when Dr. Rana told us about Schiller University and the need to join forces to bring aspirations to fruition, to transform a vision into reality, we never hesitated to do negotiate, if I can use that word, that agreement that we just signed. And why do I say negotiate? Because it's a lot of effort to actually have 2 master's degrees in the way that Professor Muñiz just described. Academic rigor, practical training, internships and traineeships at UN organizations. But again, I conclude, I hope, with a call to arms to all of you on something called sustainable development. And you won't have a senior official of the UN speaking without mentioning sustainable development. We have to. You all remember that in September 2015, at the General Assembly in New York, every nation in the world, 193 member states, came together to actually adopt this vision for the future. January 1st, 2016, we began this long road that ends, is very specific, if I may, on December the 31st, 2030, the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development. What is it? What is this agenda? My wife and I have 3 daughters, and the youngest of them, in the year 2016, when we were just starting, asked me, what are the SDGs, Dad? And of course, you try to explain, she was 11, I think, at the time, all these beautiful euphemisms, but she kept asking. She has a sharp mind like her mom. She kept asking me, yes, but how? Yes, but why? Yes, but what are these SDGs actually? And it came from the bottom of my heart to just say one thing. The SDGs are not a piece of paper. I had papers in my hand when she was asking me. I learned this from my seniors too. Sometimes the way to say what something is to say what it is not. So I told my daughter, it is not a piece of paper, right? So that's my message to you today. It's not a piece of paper. It's a real agenda with people behind, with public policy, budgets, monitoring and evaluation, and the most important thing, a commitment to make life better, better education, better health, better infrastructure, inclusion, environment, and so on. So I think it's important to remember what sustainable development is and to focus on the understanding that poverty is at the core of it. We're very happy to see what is happening with climate change and the protection of the environment. Kudos, excellent, congratulations, félicitations. But before the environment, if you have seen these 17 goals and these images at least, I kindly ask you to ask yourself, why is it that number 1 out of 17 is the global fight against poverty? There has to be a reason. The fight against poverty, that's what should occupy us. And I'm speaking today at this beautiful capital, Madrid. I'm Latin American. My grandfather used to say, Madre Patria, our motherland. This is my motherland. I know that some of my competitors will disagree, but for me, this is my motherland. So I speak from Madrid to an audience of important people telling them, join us and remember the fight against poverty. And someone will tell me about Madrid, there is no poverty. There is poverty. Poverty is multidimensional. It's not only to be dispossessed out of money. Poverty is a bigger concept, and it exists even in rich nations. But the way to measure poverty is not GDP. And I want to conclude by congratulating again Schiller, congratulating Dr. Rana and his team. But I want to conclude with the bigger picture. Just one more minute, reading something that was said at a commencement ceremony at the University of Kansas in March 18, 1968. This is my message today. I'm echoing this great man. His name was Robert Kennedy Jr., and he said the following: even if we act to erase material poverty, there is another greater task. It is to confront the poverty of satisfaction, purpose, and dignity that afflicts us all. Too much and for too long, we seem to have surrendered personal excellence and community values in the mere accumulation of material things. We are focused on our finances, statistics, and gross national product. But gross national product does not measure the quality of the health of our children, the quality of their education or the joy or their play. It does not include the commitment to help the destitute, the development of our youth, nor does it measure the beauty of our poetry or the strength of our marriages, the intelligence of our public debate, or the integrity of our public officials. Our statistics to measure poverty measure everything except what is important. It does not measure, those statistics do not measure our courage, neither our wisdom, nor our learning, neither our compassion, nor our devotion to our country. It measures everything that is not to be measured. Just remember that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alex Mejia. I would like to invite Dr. Rana to say a few words too, please.
Thank you, Alex. Good morning, Excellencies, distinguished guests, students, and colleagues. It is a great honor to be part of 60th anniversary celebration. My hearty congratulations to the poet Schiller, the founders, students, colleagues, and the community associated with Schiller International University. I'm grateful for the alumni to take the time out of their busy schedule and believing in their institution. It is like all forms of institutions go through various transformations, so does the Schiller. The only thing I can assure you, the Schiller is part of GEDU now and will remain for a long, long time. And it is our priority to restore the legacy of the Schiller, but we cannot do without you. So we have started pulling together great foundation again. As you can see, my dream is to Schiller as the best international diplomacy institution. Friends of United Nations are helping us, and I'm personally very grateful for this great help. And here's an example of this signing of this agreement, which you just witnessed, what it can give. Can you imagine you are 18 years old and you join Schiller in Madrid? You do your undergrad first year here. Second year, you move to Heidelberg, Germany. The third year, you go to Tampa, Florida. And the fourth year, you come to Paris and complete your degree. You do your applied project at Geneva, and you graduate from Palace of the Nations with the Unitar. I tell you, you don't need any more certification. You are already an ambassador. You know, with the great experience of the 4 countries, the 4 culture, the different professors, the different curriculum, the different training, you go through it. And I think this will be probably one of the rare, or probably the only American university which can give you, with the partnership of the Unitar, with the 3 campuses in Europe. Not the other university you will find. And I think that's what we are creating it for our alumni. So, these old dreams we cannot achieve without you. We are not asking your funds, like generally the universities ask. That's the reason they want to make relations with the alumni. But just little time to mentor your fellow alumni, your fellow juniors, and little bit of emotional support. We will make Schiller a great institution. With this, have a lovely day. Looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rana. I think after these words, we have no doubts about the opportunity we are providing our students and also our alumni with this agreement. And Mr. Alex Mejia has explained beautifully how important it is to understand diversity and to see how we look at poverty and other things with a global mindset, understanding that it is a multi-factor issue, multi-factor problem. The next section, we will delve into the importance of this global mindset development and understanding diversity in order to be able to face the problems and the issues that we are facing on a global scale today. So it is with a great pleasure that I welcome our faculty, Miriam Benrad, Gur Saraf, and Geoffrey Brights to stage.